What's going on, guys? This is Berz. I want to talk to you today about this Three River Blades Huntsman knife. This is a custom-made knife by John over there at Three River Blades, and this one is called the Huntsman because it's for hunting. So I'll take it out of the sheath here, which it's a rather tight sheath because I asked him to make it, you know, relatively tight on the retention because of being on a plate carrier. And just before we get started here, it is extra to have the MOLLE capable sheath made for you. So these are extra. These Tech-Lock MOLLE locks. So let's take a look at the knife here. You're looking at a 4.5-inch blade with being a 1/4 inch thick. You can see that 1/4 inch goes all the way down the blade there, which is awesome. And you know, when you hold this, you know you're holding a tank. Okay, you know you're holding something that, you know, there's some substance to this knife, unlike some you get out there. And it has nice micarta handles, and everything is just run over, and everything, I mean, the back here, I've seen some knives on the market that, you know, the middle where the metal is doesn't match up with the size. It can kind of be off. They'll give you blisters if you're using it. And you know, with the one here, this Huntsman, and with the other ones that Three River Blades makes, you know, it's nice and smooth, and there's no ridges or anything to rub up against your hand to give you blisters. So I really like that. You can see here there's a little bit of a indentation here for your finger to go in there to kind of keep, you know, from moving around. And there's some jimping up here on the top to keep your finger in line. Now I use this out in the woods and out in the wilderness a little bit, a couple times, and you know, it definitely is a tough knife. It's made at 1095 high carbon steel, which I like because, you know, you can really put an edge on that. The only thing you have to watch is keeping it oiled, because it's gonna rust if you do not, being a carbon. But you know, I mean, that's part of the, you know, thing with knives, is you have to take care of them. And keeping it oiled really doesn't take that much. You just, you know, run some oil over it, or, you know, I heated mine up and actually used frog lube, and you know, it's done well. And then I just put you know, clean it and put a little thing of oil on it when I'm done with it every time. The weight of this without the sheath is 12 ounces, so it is going to be a little bit of a heavier knife. But that's what you're going to get if you want a nice big tank of a knife with, you know, being a 1/4 inch thick. Now, it's the test I did out in the wilderness when I was out there. You know, I took this on some trees and dead trees that were on the ground, and I just kept banging this onto, you know, the tree, kind of like, you know, continued abuse or continued use of chopping, which it does very nice in, because the way this handle is set up, you can hold it right here and just continue to chop. You can kind of put your finger here. You know, there's a lot of different stuff you can do with this based off of the really nice design here of the handle. Another test I did was, you know, jamming it into the tree and then prying it out, working on that tip there. This tip, nothing. Didn't damage the tip, didn't damage the edge, absolutely nothing there at all. I did a lot of, you know, just regular chopping of tree limbs, and, you know, some making a fire stick for, you know, making a fire, whittling down a fire stick there, and batoning wood, and, you know, I got through all that with no problems whatsoever. The one thing I would like to see changed on it, though, is the jimping. This is a Huntsman, and, you know, I did do some cutting of chicken with it the one day, but when it comes down to actually skinning an animal and such, the jimping I would like to see up in this area here, so that when you're in here, you kind of lock in and you can put your finger up here. That way you can, you know, get into your skinning of the animal. So I would like to see either the jimping move to here, or you just put additional jimping up here. One or the other. I think that would definitely be a great addition to make it more of a true hunting knife. The micarta handles are great. You know, they're very stout, and like I said, even the pins here are just super. Everything is super even. He really takes time into making sure that's done. And with being a custom knife, you know, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get much more attention to detail than you are if you get a knife that is from, you know, a production line. Cha-ching, cha-ching. You know, if you're going to get something from a production line, you know, it's going to have a sense of not being custom, because it's not. Therefore, you get a custom knife, you're really going to, you know, see the difference between, you know, and on this knife, you know, here's one thing. You know, this is a little bit different on the other side right here. Okay, if you look at it from this side, where is it here? If you look at it, okay, real close on this side, this little hollow grind that it has going on is a little bit different on the other side. It's really a hair. And it's not a big deal because I like that. I like the customness of saying, hey, you know, some dude or some gal made this for me, right? And I like that, and that's why, you know, the stuff that he's doing over there is great. And he's really putting the time in to make sure that you're going to get a great knife. I let Haas and a couple other people use this knife. They also really liked it. Haas really liked the weight to the knife. You know, it felt like a knife. It felt like a piece of, you know, it felt like a great tool that you could use, is what he said. There's a lot of different things you can get. On his sheet that he has, it talks about the knife. It says you can get micarta, G10, or wood, kydex, or leather. You can get a satin, a subdued, or a Cerakote finish. Now granted, these are all things that you're probably going to have to work out with him about the price. You know, and the same thing comes with the, you know, having a MOLLE capable sheath. You know, these things are just going to cost a little bit more, and that's something you can work on with him. But this knife has really stood up to the test that I put it through, and like I said, I've taken care of it with oiling it, and it's really stood up to, you know, everything I've done with it, and I really enjoy this knife. You can see it's nice and thick here. The one thing that he does say is when he makes the knives, he doesn't sharpen them very much, and I can attest to that. When it came, it wasn't super sharp. I just ran it through my my sharpener there, and you know, got it nice and sharp with no problems whatsoever in that department. So he's going to bring it to you. It's going to have an edge on it, but if you want to have, you know, hair splitting edge, you can go ahead and do that yourself. I forget why he said that he does that, but he does it. As far as the jimping goes, though, you know, it does lock your hand in. It's nice and aggressive. It's not super aggressive, but it's not super aggressive. It's kind of right on the edge, and I really like that about this. You know, it does grab your hand. I've seen a lot of jimping that really doesn't do a very good job, but this one definitely does. So if you guys are looking for a custom knife, something that's going to be in the family, some kind of heirloom that you can pass down to your kids, to your grandkids, this knife's definitely going to get it done for you. I've had it for a few months now, testing it out, and I really like it, and it's definitely going to be in my family for a long time. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and let me know. If you guys have your own Three River knife blades, go ahead and put it in the comments or a video response. And until next time, later.